Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to Deutschland. I do hope you're all doing very well and having a lovely day. So, I just wanted to start out by saying a massive thank you to all of you for giving episode 1 of this new series such a warm reception. I am really glad that you all enjoyed it. Thank you very much for all your likes and your comments in the previous video. A couple of comments in particular that I'd like to bring up and just again say a massive thank you. Firstly to Dutch Modelling, hello mate, hope you're well, for giving the information regarding the colour chart over at the wine cellar over there. At the end of the last episode I shown you there's like a map on the floor, isn't there, and there's a colour chart on the wall, and I had no understanding of the relevance of that. Now Dutch Modelling told me that the map colours show the biggest German wine regions apparently, so thank you very much for that little snippet of information, mate. Really appreciate it. And also a comment made by Chris MC81 regarding the cows. Now, this was actually it's a mistake that I've made in the setup of the series, and I did actually notice it after I'd made the recording and after I'd released the video. And it was one of those moments, you know, when you make a mistake and you realise your mistake and you kind of freeze for a few seconds, and it just kind of made me shudder and go, oh. You know, just such a silly mistake that I'd made. But and Chris MC81, hello mate, he rightfully let me know that this cow barn doesn't do milk. And it was just one of those silly mistakes I'd made when I was setting up the series. Hey up, doing laps of the barn, are we? Look at that. How cool's that? Yeah, I had just gone in and I had, as you know, I had kitted us out with a handful of brown Swiss cows. Ordinarily in previous series when I have done cows I've always just gone for the typical Holsteins, but I thought when I was setting this one up I thought, you know what, we'll go for a few brown Swiss instead because I've never done them. But that was a bit of a mistake because, as I say, the barn doesn't produce milk, the cows don't produce milk on here, so Angus are really the only ones that we can really benefit from. So in between episodes, I have just swapped them out. Essentially, I've got rid of the brown Swiss, replaced them with Angus. We've got the same number, the same amount, so we'll move forward with that. But I have never done Angus cows at all, ever. Very much like the grapes that we're doing on here as well. Having never done those as well, I've never done Angus. So they are obviously bred for profit, aren't they? For fattening up, feeding and selling in the future. So if any of you are way more educated on Angus cows than I am, I'd very much appreciate your input. I know that I did log it, I wrote it down here, that it cost me €800 per heifer and 1,987 for the one bull that we have. And they are currently worth, in the animal menu, so the heifers are currently worth €256 and the bull is worth 734. So is there an amount of money I need to keep my eye on for the value of the cows at optimum selling point? Is that something I need to keep my eyes on? If you could let me know in the comments, I'd be greatly appreciative. Because also, now that I know that they're not going to be producing milk, that's an income stream that we're not going to have. So it has had to make me think and go, right, okay, well, I need to change the approach I was going to have, because obviously in my mind, without properly thinking about things, I was kind of be relying on a little bit of income from the milk. So we're going to have to change up and figure something out. Now we've still got the sheep, we've not got many of them, so obviously we're still going to get a bit of wool from them. But there is, regarding the wool, there isn't a spinnery on the map and there isn't a fabric production on the map or anything like that. So if I wanted to get into fabric production and possibly clothes production, which I know can be very lucrative, as per the Court Farm series that I've got going on, that is quite a lucrative business we've got going on there. So that is maybe something we could think about for the near future. But I'm going to have to think about it nonetheless, aren't I? Because no income from the milk. Anyway, right. So with that in mind, as I said, we're still in exactly the same moment we left off after episode 1. So what I would like to do is, because we pretty much have only got the end of this game day to get the canola out the ground here. As I mentioned in the previous episode, the plan is I'd like to get this canola out the ground. We'll get that into the farm silo, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend €1,000 on a chainsaw. We're going to get rid of a couple of these trees up here. Now, there's not many. I think, to be fair, there's only 3. But some of them are these, like, service berry bushes, which are a bit awkward when it comes to wood selling. We've got this big one here, which we'll try and make some money from. But what I think I might do is essentially just remove these smaller trees, which are a bit awkward to muck around with. We might get something from this one, perhaps. No, maybe not as well. That we might just need to remove that one as well. So essentially, at the minute, we've got this one big tree. So we'll get both of these fields harvested, and then I'll buy a chainsaw, chop this tree down, trim it down, cut it to length, and then I'll use the pallet forks on the telehandler and just shove it onto the pallet forks and load it onto our flatbed trailer and take it off to the sawmill and get it sold. Now, I know we're not going to get a huge amount of money for it. If I spend €1,000 on a chainsaw, we might get a little bit more than €1,000 for this whole tree, potentially. So I'm not going to make a huge amount of money from it. I appreciate that, but I want it out of there anyway so that I can stitch these 2 fields together and make one big field. So that's going to be the initial plan going forward in today's episode. Now, I know onwards from the last episode, we harvested the spelt over on the field on the other side of the map down there. We do have a whole host of straw to get picked up from that field as well, so we might crack on with that in this episode as well. I haven't actually planned that far forward yet. We shall see. But for now, I think we're going to crack on with this. Now, I did put the harvesting into a cinematic in the last episode, so what I think I might do in today's episode is I might get this harvesting done off camera, get it all picked up and put into the farm silo, and when that's done, I'll run through some quick numbers with you, let you know the yield that we're going to get from this. Now, we're not going to get a big yield, obviously. We haven't done any field prep in these fields. They are still just as the game gave us, so as you can see there, we've got an expected yield of 69% in this particular field. Over here, 74%, so it's a varying expected yield, but as you can see, the pH values and the nitrogen values are pretty abysmal. So we'll get what we can out of this field, get it tipped into the farm silo and go from there. So I'll get this harvested, and I shall pick you all up in a wee while's time when I think we will crack on with that tree removal, get the telehandler and the trailer out, and then we'll jump into the big 1050, I think, with the cultivator and get making a slightly bigger field. So, see you all soon. Right, there we go. So I did get myself a little bit carried away at the end of that harvest there, and I figured in order to get this whole field almost ready to be cultivated, I needed to get the straw picked up as well, because I do have the extended straw harvest mod activated in this game. So we do get straw from crops that you wouldn't ordinarily get straw from. Canola, having been in this field, we got straw from it, and we got 25 bales in total. 8,250 litres per bale, so we got 206,250 litres of straw, which is brilliant. Obviously got them all loaded up with the telehandler onto the trailer, and the last one just on the forks there. Now, yield-wise from the field, it wasn't too great, obviously, but it's better than nothing. From the smaller end over there, field 2, we yielded 11,298 litres of canola. We got 7 bales from that end. And this end, we got 18 bales and 29,457 litres of canola. So all in all, we have 40,755 litres sat in the silo. Now, that is, in my mind at the minute anyway, that is just primarily going to be set aside for pig food. For now anyway, because pigs do eat canola. So we may as well keep hold of it for now, anyway, at least. So what I need to do now is I've also bought myself a chainsaw, picked up this lovely little Husqvarna thing. So we'll put that to good use in a few moments' time. But I think initially I need to get tidy all this lot up, get the fent and the baler back to the yard. But I want to stick these bales into our automatic bale feeding system over in the cow barn there. So I'm going to take you with me on that one, and we shall go and put that to the test again. See how that fares. We've got a few bales over there anyway at the minute, as I set up at the beginning of the save. But now that we have 25 more to add that we've legitimately got from the field, which is excellent. So if I I think it'll be better to do this without the trailer attached, because it does make it a little bit cumbersome to move about. So there we go. Let's disconnect that. We should just need to pull up to here and to extend the boom pretty much most of the way, I think. There we go, and I should just be able to drop that off. There we go. That's all it takes. It's a handy bale spike, this, I must admit. It's kind of got like a built-in auto load function. This one is spec'd to take the maximum of 2 square bales. So that's what I need to do now. Get all these lot unstrapped and get them all loaded up into the barn. There we go. Right, excellent. So I'm going to crack on with this. As I say, I'll get the fent and the baler put back into the yard, and I'll pick you up ASAP. And I've got all this done. And while I'm out with the telehandler and the bale fork, I do need to top up the sheep with a little bit of hay just to keep their feed trough sorted. Now, as you can see, I've oriented the bales endways on the telehandler here, just because I didn't think they were going to fit through the door. So if I just drop those there, there we go. Excellent stuff. Try not to run over my own sheep, eh? So, let's get this gate closed. Now, I need to go and fix the pallet fork to the front of this for now, which is just over here. So let's... I don't think manual attach works with this bale fork, does it? Just bring up the heads-up display. There we go, yeah. Bring that boom in a bit. Get the pallet fork attached, because I'm just going to... I have done this before a couple of times, but I'm just going to use the pallet fork to kind of awkwardly load the chopped tree onto the trailer here when we get it chopped down. So we'll hitch the trailer back up. There we are. Excellent. Right, so I'll see you in a few seconds. Right. Tiny little spot of tree surgery. So, like I said, I think these trees, these particular types, are a bit kind of worthless in my opinion. So I'm hoping... Oh, you see, there we go. One tap of the chainsaw and it's gone. But this one, hopefully... Let's get that turned down there. Bring right down to the bottom just to get as much as possible. There we go. You should fall to the right. Nicely done. Right, so let's get rid of the stump. Now, I'm hoping... I've never done... What type of tree is this? Does it tell me? Shagbark hickory. Okay. Oh, it does, this one. Oh, excellent. It seems to trim down really quite... Oh, it did. Really quite well. Come on. Why aren't you lot coming off? Come on. That's a bit frustrating, isn't it? Right, seems I might need to trim all those bits off anyway, so let's go to the next one. This one I'm hoping should be the same scenario. I just need to look for the red on the icon. There we go. It's there, one tap of it and it's gone. Is this... Yeah, this tree needs to go as well, because that is very much in the way. Now I should be able to, if I double tap that and just treat it like a tree stump, boom, gone. Joys of the Lumberjack mod. Right, okay, so leave this thing with me for a moment or two while I faff about with it, get it onto the trailer, and I'll pick you up when we're on the way to the sawmill. So, see you in a few. Right, and just to show you what I meant by just shoving it onto the pallet fork, if we just scoop that up, now this is the heavier end, there we go, just to show you that it does work. It was almost the same length as the trailer, so I just trimmed the end off. There we go. Didn't need to waste money on a proper logging fork, did I? And I think I can just... hopefully should be able to pick... yes. Come on, pick up. Thank you very much. There we go, that'll do. Now don't get me wrong, it might just be pittance for all this, I know, but again, I'm just trying to do it properly. So, we're not going to run down to the sawmill in the telehandler because it's painfully slow, it'll take forever, so we'll pull the trailer down to the yard, hitch up one of the tractors. I'll probably take little mean green, the other little fence 724. There we go. And get down there. So, let's get it done. Right, so this is us in here. There's the sawmill is the building on the left-hand side here, and I believe that the sell point for wood is round the back here, and we don't own this production system at the minute. Say at the minute. So, in fact, let's just make life easy for myself, shall we? So, let's unstrap those. This is an input area here, so if we can possibly just get that wood kind of in there. No. You're not going to sell wood there, okay. There is this area here, but I don't think I can get my wood into there, can I? I may well have to instigate a little bit of super strength here, just for a moment or two. I'm just going to bring this trailer as close to this as possible. But I've got a funny feeling I think it will need to be within that red and blue ring there. Yep, seems to be. So, very quickly, excuse me ladies and gentlemen, let's just lob that in there, and lob that in there. Now does it work? There we go. Good lord, really? €256. All of that effort for €256. Oh dear. Well, anyway, I suppose at least I can say I did the whole thing properly. What a complete waste of time that was. That's I've clawed back a quarter of the cost of the chainsaw. Right, anyway, it's done. So let's get back to the farm and we'll get into the big 1050 and get stitching some fields together. Right, back at the yard now, and almost ready to crack on. Now, I've had to make some alterations to this as well. When I introduced this bit of equipment to you in the previous episode, the Horschfiner 6 SL. Now, this is a field cultivator, but it does also have the option to be a seeder as well. And when I purchased it initially, it came with this. It came with the big front tank here for seed, and it also comes with an attachment that you do in the obviously in the workshop menu. To help with the seeding function. But when that seeding function is fitted, I can't create fields with it. Now I do have the cultivator field creator mod as well, which allows you to create fields with a cultivator. And when that seeding function of this Horschfiner is fitted, it doesn't let you do that. You can't do it. Maybe it's a button conflict, perhaps a control conflict, I don't know. So I have just had to pop that into the workshop there. I have removed the seeding function temporarily, and now the create field function is there. So all good now, and I have had to, obviously I've just borrowed the front weight off the little 724 here just to keep this front end down. So let's get this folded up. It's the first time we'll have done a bit of work in this beautiful 1050. Now this is custom modding's 1050, Bent 1050. It's the part of the Agco pack, so it comes with a, you can have a Challenger version, or I think it's the Fendt Black Beauty version you can also have as well. It's the one that you can have equipped with the big floater tyres, which is pretty cool. But now if I bring up the heads-up display, as you can see there, if I hold down the button, I have the option to allow create fields, which is exactly what we want. Now, there are a couple of decorative bushes, I think, placed on this little strip of land. So what I do need to do first, because the cultivator won't remove those, is jump into the landscaping menu. Another wonderful thing about this map, check out all the different painting textures you can have. There's loads of them. All the different brick and block work and paving and stuff. It's really cool. Cement, Piastra Cemento 01. But what I do just want is grass, just so that I can... Oh, I should be able to... Yeah, there we go. I can just get rid of those decorative bushes. Because they'll still remain, I think, if I run the cultivator. Possibly, anyway. I think that should be us. Everything else, I think, should just cultivate under. Do you know what? We'll just... For ease, let's just run a big strip there, because obviously anything we paint down here, as long as we have the create fields function on. There we go. Excellent stuff. Right. So, finally, we got here. Let's get this big field created, shall we? So, let's get this one unfolded. Now, what I can do, because I'm going to put this into a cinematic, do the whole thing. What I do need to do is join them both together initially, so that when I run courseplay, it recognises the whole thing as one field. So, if I lower that down, wrong one. There we go. Okay, so that's lowered down now. Excellent. Right, sorry, yeah, that's right. So that's now cultivating, but if I select allow create fields, that should now allow me to, there we go, just quite neatly, just come along here, join that to there. Why didn't you get that bit there? Oh, I do hate those little bits. I think it's just because there's a bump there, so might need to smooth that bit off. In fact, let's try that now. So go into the construction menu, go to the landscaping, sculpting, smooth that bit off there, just a tiny little bit. There we go. Just remove a bit of that hump. And now, should be able to drop that down. Fingers crossed. There we go. That's better. So lift that up. And I need to do the same at the top end up here, and that's technically joined the two together. And now I should be able to get courseplay to recognise it as one big field. Although this little bit here might look a little bit awkward, so we'll join from there and then try and smoothly bring it round here. I think what I might actually do is just remove that little jutty out edge there. So if I go into the construction menu again, landscape, paint, go find the grass bit, there we go, that'll do. Right, select the circle, go to a slightly bigger size, and then I should be able to just paint like that there, and then go for the grass. The meadow. There we go. Okay. That should work. Now lift that up. And that should be us. I might do a bit, do you know what I might do as well? Just because I'm not always a huge fan of sharp corners. Let's just go back to that painting part. Find the grass. There we go. So then I'll just give this corner a bit of a radius. There we go. Get rid of that bit. Excellent. Plants. Meadow. That'll do for now, I reckon. Lovely stuff. Yeah, that just makes it a bit easier for courseplay. Pretty much. And everything else, I think, is as I need it to be. Is this corner? Yeah, this will do the same in this corner. Right, well, anyway, forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm bringing you along on a particularly dull journey here. I'm going to do the same in this corner here. Just give this little corner a bit of a radius there, and then we will set off cultivating, creating one big field. So, see you all when the job's done.
Started as a whisper, message from a new world I'd never known. Something about it felt like I've been waiting my whole life. Is this home? I can hear each sound calling my name, and I feel angels around when I start to sing, and suddenly it feels like heaven is not so far away. Tell me, can you hear the symphony? I can't help but think that it's meant to be, that I'm finally right where I'm supposed to. If I let you into the secret, would you listen? I can hear each sound calling my name, and I feel angels around when I start to sing, and suddenly it feels like heaven is not so far away. Tell me, can you hear the symphony? And before too long, I found where I belong. I can hear it, oh, I can't stop the rush. Every note I touch, I can feel it saving me. Tell me, can you hear the symphony?
Right then, there we go. Job done. Very happy with that, if I'm honest. Really quite happy how that's turned out. Now, obviously, we know we've got this bit of an unsightly stripe down the middle of the field for now, but that'll do. That'll go in due course. Now, of course, we've got a bit of field prep in this one to get ahead of us. I think drilling time, if I just remind myself, going into the where are we now? The crop calendar. So we're in August. It's a one-day month, obviously, because I have altered it to 2-day months, but that won't come into effect until midnight tonight. So tomorrow, September, we have the opportunity to get canola or oats into the ground. And if we wanted to, we could wait till October and get a nice winter wheat or barley into the ground. We may do that. I suppose a winter wheat might be nice, I suppose. But the one thing that did cross my mind, obviously, as we all know, when we do stuff like this, especially in an empty field, we need to bring up the pH levels and also bring up the nitrogen levels. Now, the nitrogen is not too much of a problem because solid and liquid fert tends to go a reasonably long way. But liming, especially in an empty field like this, is an absolute pain, if you ask me. We don't have a particularly massive hopper on our lime spreader. I think, if I remember correctly, it's something around 4,000 litres, perhaps, I think. But in a field, even this, I suppose, is a medium field, isn't it, compared to some, this will drink it. And there will be numerous trips back and to, or many, many bags of lime needing to be purchased. Now, I don't really want to be going down to the shop and buying a massive amount of bags of lime and coming back to find out I still need to go and buy more and more and more. It's just something that I find really quite frustrating. So what I'm going to do, I do have a couple of mods that I tend to use. I've used them in other series. They're just like relatively straightforward lime buy points, but I am very aware that because of the absolute visual beauty of this map, I don't just want to go placing down any old mod in any old place, because for me anyway, it's really important that what I place down looks right and suits the area. So I've had a little bit of an idea, and it kind of involves placing down 2 mods, and I hope it's going to work. So bear with me 2 seconds and I'll show you what I mean. There you go. What do you think of that? That, I hope, I haven't tested it yet, but that should be my lime buy point. I hope. Fingers crossed it works. We'll get to that one in a second. So, going to get back over here. We'll just put the fence away, because I'm acutely aware that I've left the engine running as well, haven't I? Wasteful. So, let's get this thing back into the yard. I'm going to... in fact, no, I won't re-equip this thing with the seeder just yet. We'll keep it as a bare cultivator for now. But what I will do is just tidy everything up, and I'm going to hitch up the lime spreader to one of the tractors and just take you with me and go and see if that little idea of mine has worked. So let's just stash this away over here for now. That will do for now. This is a beast of a tractor, by the way. Love it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, I think we'll grab you. No, in fact, we'll grab the black one, because that's got the weight on the front, and the weight for the green one is still on the 1050. So let's... and that's not connected, so that's good. We need to hook up the lime spreader there. There we go. Okay. PTO cables, lift up, pop the lid, there we go. Right. Fingers crossed this works, because as I said before, I'm really conscious about placing things down on this map, because it's clearly had a huge amount of time spent on it to look good, and the last thing I want to do is come along and just park anything down. So if I just go to here, voilà, let's just bring up the menu. View beauty. There we go. Start filling. So what I've done is quite simply, if you look in there, there's a lime tank that I've used for quite a while. It's from a mod pack. Forgive me, I've not got the mod pack off the tip of my tongue here. But there it is. It's inside this beautiful... It's called a Dovecote. This is from MA7 Studios. The modders responsible for a recent French map Pellény, and also Castelnaud, the map there, that MA7. They do a whole host of mods on their website, and I downloaded this a while ago, and I've never really done anything with it, but I feel this kind of old building. Do you agree with me? It kind of suits the area, doesn't it? It looks right. Old, historical, and fairly pretty, and because it's MA7, it's obviously of a very, very high quality. I mean, just look at the texture of the old timbers there, for example. But yeah, I've just placed this old lime tank here, and then I was able to place this thing over the top of it, because I do have I've got a mod called Place Anywhere, which quite simply does exactly what it says on the tin. It allows you to place things anywhere. So I was able to kind of sleeve it over the top. And we can even still walk up the stairs here and all. Look at that, we can open the door. There's the top of the tank. How cool's that? What does that do? Oh, we can turn on the lights as well. Oh, look at that. Brilliant. There we go. So, I've never actually used this lovely little tower yet, ever. And that's the first time I've used it. So, that's pretty cool. So anyway, now we have a line point that's not too expensive. It's nearby the farm, so I'm not going to have to travel far in order to top up the fields. And it looks right. Just nice and out of the way. So I will be able to wire that subtly into the auto drive network there and be able to get that done. I'm really quite chuffed with that. Right, anyway, so I'm acutely aware also that it is in-game. It's 10 to 4. It's... we do still have a couple of hours of daylight ahead of us. I've just turned that one in the wrong way. I need to drop this fertilizer box off, and I think what I should really do is go and get those go and get the straw picked up, or at least baled up at least anyway, in what was the field of spelt. So we shall stick with you, my little beauty, and we shall make our way over there and get that straw picked up. Right, here we are, back at what was the field of spelt. As you can see, we've got a good chunk of straw to get picked up. Now, what I'm going to do, what I quite simply do, is I'm going to be popping this tractor and baler onto what is the courseplay course for the combine harvester. So it'll just follow the same route. It will get almost all of the straw picked up. There's always bits on the corners that it misses, but I'll go around and sort them out afterwards. And what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and pop this into a bit of a time lapse. I do appreciate that it might chop and change here and there mid time lapse, because obviously this is going to run the headlands first and then it will run the centre rows after, so there's always going to be a possibility that this thing is going to bump into one of the bales that it's dropped along the way. But time will tell. Either way, we're going to get a good chunk of bales out of this, I'm pretty sure. I know that the yield from the field when we harvested it wasn't superb, obviously, because the field was much like the canola we've just done there. The field was completely unprepped, very low pH and nitrogen levels, but it's a much bigger field, so we should get quite a bit of a bigger quantity of straw bales. So anyway, enough of my waffle, let's crack on and get this done. Now then, there we go. baling completed. So I do hope that time lapse came out okay. Having not put it together yet, I haven't got too much of an idea how well it's been presented yet, but I did decide quite early on during recording that footage that I was going to stick with in cab. So obviously I did record the headlands, but I was doing it kind of floating around the tractor outside. But then I decided to kind of go with what an actual farmer would be looking at from sitting in his cab. So I've stuck with, I think, just a main in-cab view with a bit of music behind it. So I hope it came out okay either way, regardless. But anyway, so from that field, we got 39 bales. That brings our total of bales that we have made today to 64. So 39 bales at 8,250 litres a bale brings us to 321,750 litres of straw that we got out of that. Add that to what we got earlier on from the canola field, and we have got in total 528,000 litres of straw in bale form. So that's not so bad, is it? That'll do. We've got a bit of a stockpile to fall back on. So yeah, really quite chuffed with that. And, do you know what? I tell you what, this is fast becoming my favourite tractor in the game. It is an absolute beast. Did you all notice as well? Obviously, I think I mentioned before doing this time lapse that I was worried that the tractor, if it bumps into bales, it'll stop working, because Coursplay's always done that for me. But this one, and I don't know whether it's because of the front weight that's on it, but it just barged them out the way. It didn't stop once, so I was really, really chuffed with that. So well, I don't know whether it's the tractor. I haven't updated Courseplay for an age, so it can't be that. But either way, I was just very pleasantly surprised when it approached a bale and just shoved it out the way. So that was absolutely brilliant. So there we are. So also as well, as I mentioned earlier in the video, if any of you are way more clued up on Angus cows, please do let me know any information you've got in the comments below regarding what kind of numbers I need to keep an eye out for when it comes to their value. Like I said earlier in the video, I have never ever done Angus cows before. I've only ever done Holsteins, and obviously they're the ones who make milk, and I've never really got far enough to need to sell them. So yeah, if you've got any info, guys and girls, please do let me know. But I think for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it here. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for your time watching it. As always, if you're new to my channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like as well if you can. It does do wonders for the channel. It helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing a DLC, an add-on, a season pass, or even the full game itself, and you like the idea of helping out a content creator at the same time, as always, I would be hugely appreciative. So thanks again for your time, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.